A school in Bolton may have stumbled on the answer to an age-old problem: how to get boys to enjoy reading and writing. Boys lag behind girls from an early age in literacy tests, but at Heathfield Primary they're bridging the gap by getting the children to blog. Stuart Flinders is there for us now. Stuart.
Well, Gordon, they're all blogging away here. You've got the year 2s over there, year 6s here, and this is Thomas. What are you doing, Thomas?
I'm just doing a story called Monty and Tower Take the Top Rows.
Right. And how has you been blogging for what, 6 months or so now, nearly a year? How has it changed the way you are, do you think?
Well, I'm not getting into trouble as much as I used to. I used to get into trouble all the time, but
I don't believe that.
I'm not.
But now you're doing a lot more writing.
Yeah, I'm doing more writing in my own time.
How's your spelling?
Appalling. I'm not a
I
good
know.
speller.
You'll get better, don't worry. Thanks,
Yeah.
Thomas. Let's talk to your teacher, Mr. Mitchell, David Mitchell. Why do you think boys traditionally are bad writers or not interested in writing, and how has the blogging helped?
Well, there's a national gap between boys and girls' attainment in writing. What we're trying to do here is make writing cool for everyone, and the boys seem to be leading that, and the girls are mirroring that behaviour.
And your evidence for that is your results in the national curriculum test. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, last year our year 6 left us making 2 years progress in writing in 1 year, and our Key Stage 2 SATS results for writing went from 9% to 63% in 12 months.
All right. Well, David Mitchell, thank you very much for joining us. More on this in North West Tonight this evening. Other schools and education experts starting to take notice. More on this later.
Stuart, thank you very much indeed. And in North West Tonight at 6:30. The boys who blog, the story of how literacy rates have soared thanks to time spent on the computer.
It's an age-old problem. Boys just don't seem to want to write as much as girls. Could Bolton's bloggers have the answer?
Now it is one of education's eternal questions, and a school in Bolton may have stumbled on the answer. How do you get boys to read and write as well as girls do?
Yeah, boys fall behind from an early age because they think writing is uncool. But Heathfield Primary has seen dramatic improvements in test results since they introduced blogging. Stuart Flinders has been finding out why.
Thomas is blogging about being on TV. Bradley and George's blog is more of a joint effort. For decades, the experts have been trying to find a way of overcoming resistance to writing amongst boys. Heathfield Primary has found it, by accident. The school closed a year ago because of bad weather, and children were encouraged to work online.
The children were going outside and measuring snow, coming inside and posting their results, and some creative writing about videos we were sharing about the snow.
And you continued that once the school reopened?
We did, yeah, and that was the children that, they really wanted that.
Within a year, the percentage of 11-year-olds getting a higher than average score in writing tests soared from 9 to 63.
Anybody all over the world can read it because it can be shown to the public. So if they just come on and search for Google, they can just find it.
During the World Cup, the German ambassador was looking in.
The key factor for us is the real audience that the children are having access to. Tens of thousands of people all over the world. It's instant.
Is that because boys like to show off?
I think so, yes. They're very much competitive.
Boys tend to think that writing and reading are boring, but I think most girls like to do things like that better than maths.
Do you help them? Do you give them advice?
Sometimes. We just let them struggle.
Yeah.
The boys are already seeing a difference in their lives.
I used to get into trouble a lot, but I don't get into trouble a lot at all anymore.
And you're obviously doing a lot more writing. Are you doing a lot more reading as well? Do you read more books?
Well, to be honest with you, not really.
Oh well, early days. Stuart Flinders, BBC North West Tonight, Bolton.
Nothing if not honest.
Exactly, good answer there. Now joining us is literacy expert Colin Mills. Well, Colin, you saw there lots of theories as to why boys are more resistant than girls to read and write. You're the expert. What's your view?
This is very much a good news story because I mean across the nation, and particularly in the schools across our regions, boys do fall behind in writing in particular. Girls outperform boys. Almost half as many girls do much better than we'd expect for their age range. Just a quarter of boys do. And that's not good news. It holds them back right the way through. A university like I work at, Manchester, just down the road, works very hard at getting people into university, and we've got to help boys along with that.
Well, parents, I know parents who've got girls and boys, and they say we treat them exactly the same, have as many books in the house for girls as we do for boys, encourage them to write. And why is it? What is the difference? Do you even know? I mean, is it provable why?
Yeah, our culture still typecasts reading and writing as feminine activities, and that's not good for boys. Girls do very well at the things that you get rewarded for in primary schools. You know, they're quiet and they get on with their work. We need to find ways of boys seeing reading and writing as cool.
You see, when I was at school, which is going back an awful long time, and you had Children's Hour on the radio, you had drama and so on, Jennings at school, things like that, and you listened to it and it made you want to read the books afterwards. Or you got your comics, which weren't cartoons, they were stories, 2.5 pages of stories of Roy of the Rovers and Rockfist Rogan Fighter Pilot, and that made you want to read.
We need to be a bit careful about that, Gordon. There's always been something else that we've worried about that's stopping children reading. There was the wireless, there was the TV, there was computers. It doesn't actually. They do read, they just read differently from the way that we did. Those boys who are blogging about song lyrics, they're blogging about Rooney's goal at the weekend, but they're also doing lots of conventional writing, and the results show that they do better at that kind of writing as well.
Do you have to worry about them using text language? I know my nephews would, but if no one's watching, that's what they'll write.
Why do we worry about it? Why don't we just build on what they're doing?
But don't they have to write properly, know the spelling, sentence construction? And if you leave them to it on blogging on their own without any supervision, won't they just learn bad habits, if you like?
Well, they learn habits. They learn habits about communicating with other people. They learn that writing has a function. Why do we worry about text messaging? 95% of 11-year-olds do it. 75% of 11-year-olds use email, and 25% of them use blogging. So let's stop worrying.
Do you? You think texting, it's all to be encouraged?
Employers will tell you they want people who can read and write properly, not to do it in text speak, and that's the key to it.
And then when my graduate students go along to employers, what they have to do is communicate through text and through blogging.
Yeah.
We can't worry about a bygone age. It has changed. They're doing it, and they're doing it differently.
Okay.
Lovely.
I live in a bygone age.
You said it, Colin. Thank you.
Thank you.